Hi, welcome back. In this video, you're going to learn about solving problems involving variation. Let's recall the different types of variation. Direct variation, y is equal to k times x. The variation statement is y varies directly with x. Inverse variation, y is equal to k over x. Take note where the x here is in the denominator. The variation statement is y varies inversely with x. Next, we have joint variation. Y is equal to k times x times z. And that is y varies jointly with x and z. That's the variation statement. And then we have combined variation. We have here a combination of direct variation and inverse variation. This is y is equal to kx. That's the direct variation. And then over z, which is the inverse variation, because the other variable here is in the denominator. And that is y varies directly with x and inversely with z. So here's the steps on how we can solve the problem. First, identify the kind of variation, write the mathematical equation, solve for k or the constant of variation, write the variation equation, and solve the problem. So here's problem number 1. The amount of wallpaper W needed to cover the wall varies directly with the area of the wall. If 3 rolls of wallpaper is needed to cover the 20 square meters wall, how many rolls are needed to cover a wall with an area of 80 square meters? Now, what are the two quantities here? Here, the amount of wallpaper. So that is W here. And then we have the area. Okay? Now, means that 3 rolls to cover the 20 square meters. And it says here, varies directly, which means the kind of variation that we are going to use here is direct variation. Now, what is the mathematical equation if it's direct variation? Y is equal to kx. So y, that is W, is equal to k times a. This is y, and this is x. Okay? Now, solve for k. So to solve for the constant of variation, simply, we're just going to substitute the value of W and A. So the wallpaper here is 3 rolls. That's for W is equal to K times 20 square meters. Now what are you going to do? Is to divide both sides by 20 square meters and to solve for K. So that is equal to 1, or simply makakancel na yan. And then here, what is left is K is equal to 3 over 20. 3 rolls for every 20 square meters. That's the constant of variation. Now, next is write the variation equation. So this is now the variation equation. W is equal to 3 over 20. Simply, substitute mo lang yung kung anong value ng K. Ipapalit mo lang doon yung K, then times A. What is A? Yun yung value ng X, na kung saan, later, isa-substitute natin para makuha natin yung W. So, ang hinahanap dito is, how many rolls are needed to cover a wall with an area of 80 square meters. So, ngayon, papalitan na natin. Substitute na natin. Solve na natin yung problem by substituting the values. So, here, 3 rolls per 20 square meters. That's the value of K. Here. And then times 80 square meters. So, times. Now, here, you notice here, we're just going to multiply this. 3 times 80. But this one, the square meter and the square meter here will be cancelled. So what unit left now is only roll or 3 rolls here. So W now is equal to 3 times 80 is equal to 240 divided by 20. And that is equal to 12 rolls. Which means if you have a 80 square meters wall, you will need 12 rolls of wallpaper. Okay, so that's the answer. Okay, next example. The number of days D to build a standard two-bedroom house varies inversely as the number of laborers L building the house. If it takes 90 days for 10 laborers to build, how many laborers needed to finish the house in 60 days? Okay, tingnan natin. So, ano yung mga given dito? We have days, D, and we have laborers, L. If 90 days to finish, you need 10 laborers. Now, ang gusto niya ay bababaan yung number of days. Gusto niya matapos na in 60 days. But pag in-analyze natin yung problem, syempre, pag gusto mong mas maaga matapos, ibig sabihin, magdadagdag ka ng manggagawa, di ba? So, magdadagdag ka ng laborer. As you increase the number of laborer, magdi-decrease naman yung number of days. Kaya siya inverse variation. Dito. At nakalagay din dito, varies inversely. So, the kind of variation now is inverse. Now, the mathematical equation should be D is equal to K over L. Diba? Y, for inverse variation, Y is equal to K over X. Now, to solve for K, now, kung gusto mo munang kunin yung formula ng K, simply understood there is Y here. Para ma-solve mo yung K, K is equal to, cross-multiply mo lang, that is Y times X. That's the value of K, or to solve for the formula for K, constant of variation. Okay, cross-multiply, cross-multiply. So ito, dito, ibig sabihin, how to find for the value of K, understood, there is one here, cross-multiply mo lang, ibig sabihin, K is equal to D times L. Now, ano yung D natin? 90 days. So, 90 times 10, number of laborers. And K is equal to 900. Now, what are you going to do next? You're going to substitute this in the equation. What is now the variation equation here is equal to D is equal to, what is K, that is 900 divided by L. Now, how many laborers needed to finish the house in 60 days? So, ang given dito ay D sa susunod nating set of values. At ngayon, ang nawawala ay L. So, ang D natin ay 60 days is equal to 900, divided by L. Now, you can cross-multiply this. Understood there is 1. So, you can multiply this. And that is 60 days L, right? Or 60 L. And then is equal to 900. Then divided by 60 to solve for L. So this is 1. L is equal to 15 laborers. So you need 15 laborers in order to finish the house in 60 days. The area of a triangle A varies jointly with the base B and the height H. If the area of a triangle is 30 centimeters squared when the base is 12 centimeters and the height is 5 centimeters, what is the area if the base is 15 centimeters and the height is 6 centimeters? So, of course, here, very obvious, we have joint variation. In joint variation, we have Y is equal to K times X times Z. So there are three quantities. We have A, we have B, we have H. Now, A is Y, K is the constant of variation, X is B, and H is Z, which means A is equal to K times B times H. Now, we can just substitute the first set of given here in order for us to solve for the value of K. The area is 30 centimeters squared, so that's the value of A. And then, constant of variation K. Then we have here 12 centimeters, that's the base, and 5 centimeters, that's the height. So if we're going to multiply this two, this is equal to 60 centimeters squared. Centimeter times centimeters. So it means we're going to divide both sides by 60 centimeters squared. And this is equal to 1. This one will be cancelled also. So therefore, we have K. We can reduce this to lowest term by 30. 30 divided by 30 is 1. 60 divided by 30 is 2. So we have now K is equal to 1/2. Now, in the formula here, we can now replace K as 1/2, and then we can solve the problem. So A is equal to 1/2 times base times height. And the second set of values now for B is 15 centimeters and the height is 6 centimeters, which means A is equal to 1/2 times 15 centimeters times 6 centimeters. So this one, 15 centimeters times 6, that is equal to 90 centimeters squared. Centimeters times centimeters, that is centimeters squared. 1/2. What is 1/2 of 90? That is 45. So the area of the triangle is 45 square centimeters if the base is 12 centimeters and the height is 6 centimeters. So that's all for this video, and thank you for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel, share my video, and like if you like it. Bye!